Right now on Newsday TV, extreme heat bearing down on Long Island. It's Monday, June 23rd. I'm Macy Eglin. Let's get right to that dangerous heat. Feels like temperatures around 100 degrees. Meteorologist Rich Von Olin joining us this morning to talk about just how hot it will get and when we finally see a little cool down. So what are we looking at here?
Yeah, we had 90 yesterday. We'll probably do 90 again today. Tuesday is going to be the really nasty hot day. That's going to be the day I think we get temperatures well into the 90s, maybe even close to 100 degrees. But bona fide heat wave. Last time we had something like this back in September of 2023. And yeah, we're slated to set some records here. We'll watch these records here for Islip, MacArthur Airport. I think we have a chance of getting there for Monday and for Tuesday. Some of the numbers here, I mean, they're not out of reach here, but certainly got a possibility of getting about 90, 91 degrees here to break that record for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I think we get some mid-90s, so we'll see how that pans out. But 100-degree days are very rare. It's hard to see that. Maybe 7 times it's happened throughout history at Islip MacArthur Airport. We have a chance of doing that going into the day on Tuesday. And again, we have a heat advisory in effect so far. We may have to upgrade this to a heat warning for Tuesday as temperatures really start to rise. Notice our numbers here on the Futurecast. Again, the numbers are about 90 or so, lower 90s, not a stifling heat for Monday, but it's Tuesday. You see that magenta, some of that purple there. That's the core of the heat dome coming in, where we could see temperatures getting into the mid to upper 90s, maybe getting close to 100 in spots, especially north of Sunrise Highway. This is what a heat dome looks like on the maps. Look at the eastern states. See that big blob of red, the ridge building across the east. It just sits there for 2 or 3 days and eventually retreats south going into about Wednesday night and Thursday. So this will be about a 3-day deal, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, with temperatures well into the 90s. The Futurecast doesn't show much in the way of rain to kind of cool things off, and it's a westerly breeze. Wednesday afternoon, 2, 3, 4 in the afternoon, a chance of a pop shower storm, but not all day. Better chance we get a little bit of rain going into late week. But 91 for Monday, that's going to be close to a record high, but I think we have a good chance of breaking records on Tuesday, about 97. The 7-day forecast, we break the heat by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Actually get a little bit below normal late in the week with a chance of shower or storm going into the weekend. We'll see how widespread that is. But until then, just stay safe. This is a bona fide heat wave here with some big-time heat into Tuesday.
All right, thanks, Rich. Well, Nassau and Suffolk counties have opened cooling centers, splash parks, and extended public pool and beach hours to help you beat that heat. You can see a list of cooling centers and our continuing coverage of this dangerous heat on Newsday.com.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Fire Island Ferries.
Police here on the island are on high alert as the world waits for Iran to respond to U.S. bombings. Nassau police and the NYPD have increased patrols at sensitive locations following Saturday's strikes on 3 Iranian nuclear sites. Nassau officials say they're receiving intelligence briefings and there are currently no credible threats. Suffolk police did not respond to our request for comment. A death investigation underway in Suffolk County. Police say Alexander Velazquez of Central Islip was found dead in this parking lot early yesterday morning in Brentwood. Investigators say his death is criminal in nature. The county medical examiner's office is determining his cause of death. A wild scene in East Farmingdale. Police say a driver lost control. Their car flipped and slammed into the Optimum building on Route 109 in East Farmingdale late last night. The driver was not seriously hurt. An 11-year-old boy is seriously injured after a crash on a dirt bike. It happened in Brentwood. Police say the boy, who lives in Brentwood, crashed a dirt bike into a car last night. The driver was not hurt. You can read more about Newsday's year-long investigative series looking at Long Island's dangerous roads on our website, newsday.com. The prosecution is expected to rest its case today in the Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking trial. Remaining witnesses will finish their testimony in Manhattan as that trial enters its 7th week. First in Newsday, your LIRR commute could get more comfortable. The MTA is set to buy a new fleet of electric trains. The move will allow the railroad to retire its M3 trains from the 1980s. 160 new cars are tentatively set to be put into service by the year 2030.
5 intersections on Long Island have proven to be the most dangerous over a 10-year span. Newsday investigates the circumstances behind the number of fatalities and serious crashes. Dangerous roads, dangerous intersections. Now available at Newsday.com.
Long Island leads the state when it comes to high-earning local employees. Newsday's Nassau County politics reporter Bahar Ostadan breaks it down.
There's a small group of Nassau County employees that make more than $300,000 a year. Now, that group of people has almost doubled last year. In Suffolk, something similar happened the year before, and really this increase is driven by correction officers and some police lieutenants who are working more and more overtime. Pay increases are happening because they're understaffed. Both jails said that we were 100 correction officers short from what we need to run the jails. Now, the other reason for some pay increases is termination pay. So employees who retire or quit or were fired last year got hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in termination pay each. One researcher we interviewed talked about how, politicians gain power in part by securing some of these beneficial union contracts. So that helps, in essence, keep some of these pay structures intact and keeps pay increasing year over year, keeps overtime increasing year over year. And, taxpayers should know where their money's going.
Read more about the story on Newsday.com. Click Get More below that Newsday TV video box.
At the entrance to Lloyd and Huntington Harbors stands a Venetian Renaissance-style beacon, shining a light on Long Island's maritime history. And this summer, you can visit the Huntington Harbor Lighthouse, a rarity for offshore lighthouses.
There's many offshore lighthouses, but they're not able to take people actually out to visit the lighthouse, to go inside and see, touch, and feel it.
Guided tours are starting once again at the 113-year-old lighthouse on the harbor.
Welcome to the lighthouse. I'm so happy you guys are all here.
The castle on the bay, as some call it, was a manned lighthouse for much of its life. But automation took over, and then the dilapidated lighthouse was slated to be torn down by the Coast Guard, replaced with a light and horn on a metal tower. That was until volunteers in 1985 sounded the alarm and saved the historic lighthouse from the wrecking ball. Millions of dollars later, the lighthouse still stands, telling the story of the dedicated lightkeepers who safely guided ships on Long Island Sound, now guarded by a family of osprey.
It's fantastic, and I think Long Island forgets its history.
Mike Kowalski and Cynthia Flame from Stony Brook have toured several other lighthouses, but this one, they say, stands apart since it's an actual Coast Guard navigational aid and is an offshore museum.
It was a great view. It's a unique place to look out on the various bodies of water.
Of course, a lot more work has to be done on the lighthouse here, and these tours are one way the Preservation Society can raise funds for that restoration. So they say this lighthouse can last another 100 years.
These are our castles, so we would be out of our minds to let them go, because it's important they tell a story, and there's a lot of stories attached to them. Every lighthouse has a story.
In Huntington, Andrew Enger, Newsday TV.
Pretty neat experience. You can read more about it on Newsday.com. Click Get More below that Newsday TV video box.
It's surreal because I genuinely enjoy it. That's the fun thing.
This is Wheatley Heights native Jordan Simpson, and you may recognize him from his viral Mets jingles.
Score, we're in the second with some nice clutch hitting.
Combining his two passions, making music and the New York Mets, has created a unique online community.
I can try to find a way to combine music and the Mets, but I didn't know how. And then on opening day of 2023, I was like, you know what? I just did a random video of me doing a remix of the SNY Mets theme song when the games come on. And then that blew up. So I'm like, okay, maybe there's something here. I realized very quickly that that was going to be a mainstay.
And in this room, this is where the magic happens. Old office space turned music room and New York Mets shrine. It's here where Simpson spends hours on end recapping each Mets series through song.
But then once you kind of figure out a song that I want to do, then it's a matter of writing then the lyrics. Then I have to actually learn how to play the song, then reproducing it from scratch. And once that's done, then you record it, you video it, and then put the video together and you try to get it out as soon as you can.
It's not just the process he loves. It's the connections and the positive feedback he's received along the way.
It's fun to For one, just to build relationships with people in the Mets world, because I'm a diehard Mets fan, so it's cool to get to know people that are there that I've been fans of, and then for me to go to games and get recognized and take pictures, even not at games, it happens out at the mall, at restaurants, at concerts, it just happens all the time, and it means a lot. I don't want to stop, but I want to, I just want to keep doing it. Yes, there's a part of me that shoots big, but at the same time, I'm also very grounded in the fact that I'm just also grateful for just how this has been going so far.
Jolie Katzen, Newsday TV.
And read more about the story on our website, newsday.com. Again, click Get More below that Newsday TV video box. You can see more on all these stories on our website, newsday.com, and watch us streaming anytime on Local Now, YouTube, and all of the other streaming services that you see here. I'm Macy Eglund. Thanks for watching. Keep cool out there.